welcome to Simple or Not Kitchen. My name is Melissa and I'm here in the kitchen today with Suzanne, who's one of my fellow reporters at Pinal Central. And today we're making a dish that her grandmother used to make. Suzanne, can you tell us a little about it?
Sure, so my grandmother used to make these donuts that were called Paczki. And they're like a jelly-filled donut. They're made with a yeast batter. So it creates a little cavity inside where you shove the jelly in. And she used to make them every year only for Fat Tuesday. So my brothers and I used to fight over these donuts when she would make them, and she'd send us home every time with a giant box full of these donuts.
Wow. Oh, and so these are delicious, and we're going to show you how to make them and let you know if they're simple or not. To make our fried donuts, we're going to need about 2 cups of flour, some milk, sugar, yeast, melted butter, eggs, and vanilla. And we'll also need about a half a teaspoon of salt. We're going to start the process by warming our milk and then mixing our yeast in with the milk. And then one by one, we're going to add all of the other ingredients to our milk mixture except for the flour. We're going to start by adding our eggs. Then in goes our melted butter, followed by our sugar, then our vanilla and our salt. We're going to stir the mixture. And as you can see, I'm running out of room, so I'm going to transfer it to another bowl. We're going to stir the mixture and then we're going to let it sit for a few minutes while we get started on our flour. For the next step in the process, we're going to use our stand mixer, but you could do it by hand as well. We are going to start by putting our flour in the mixer. We have the dough hook attached, and we're going to turn on the machine and just agitate the flour a little bit. Then in goes our milk and yeast mixture. Then with the machine on about medium, we're going to let the machine do its thing. The recipe I was following called for 2 cups of flour. I found that about an extra half a cup of flour was needed. And then we're going to let the machine do the first round of kneading as well. We're going to let the machine knead the mixture for about 5 minutes. Then we're going to transfer the dough to a greased dish. We're going to cover it and let it sit for about 2 hours. The key ingredient to this donut recipe is patience. After 2 hours, we're going to punch down the dough and knead it, and then let it rise again for another 2 hours. After the dough has risen a second time, we are going to turn it out onto a floured surface and roll it out till it's about 1/4 of an inch thick. Then using a round cookie cutter, we are going to cut our dough into individual donuts. If you don't have a round cookie cutter, you could always use a cup for this step. And then we're going to fry each one of our donuts until they are puffy and fluffy. They should be golden in color when they're finished. And then it's time to fill our donuts. And we're using this handy little squeeze bottle that's normally used for ketchup to fill our pastries. You could also use a Ziploc bag or a pastry bag. And Suzanne says that when her grandmother used to make these, she would fill the dough with the jelly first and then cook them with the jelly inside. And using a squirt bottle to fill the donuts once they're cooked is pretty easy to do. Things got a little bit messy when we used the plastic bag method to fill the donuts. The method did work, but it was a little bit messy. And the final step in making these donuts is to dip the jelly-filled donuts into a little bit of powdered sugar. These donuts were not difficult to make, but they do take a little bit of patience, and the end result is yummy and delicious. Thank you for watching Simple or Not Kitchen. For the recipe, article, and more video, go online to pinalcentral.com.